What's going on, everyone? Happy Tuesday. Hopefully everyone is doing well and having a great day so far. It is time now for the Tuesday edition of the weather update for Tuesday, November 26th, 2024. If you're new to my channel, there's been a lot of new people checking out my videos lately. Thank you, and I'm so glad that you have checked out my videos. This is where I do the daily weather update for all things weather in the United States. We talk about cold weather, winter weather, weather in the summertime, severe weather, rain, snow, and everything else in between, tropical weather as well. So if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that notification bell, and share this video with anyone you know. Speaking of cold weather, that is one of the big things we have to talk about today. And cold weather is looking likely for a large section of the United States. Also, there is the threat of snowfall, not only from a storm system on Thanksgiving, but the confidence for a lake effect snowfall event in the Great Lakes region of the United States is increasing. And you can see here in this graphic from the Weather Prediction Center, it says chance of at least minor snow impacts from Friday through Monday. And look at this, it's really high along all of the Great Lakes. The lake effect snow machine will be turning on come this weekend, and some areas are going to see a significant, major amount of snowfall. Some places will see a foot or more of snowfall as these bands may set up and install in a few locations. So just wanted to make you aware of that, especially for those who are traveling over this holiday. Maybe you're one of those people, you traveled today and, well, you're going to have Thanksgiving, but you're going to come back early, say, Saturday versus Sunday. Well, be aware, this lake effect snow event, if you're in that region, will be ongoing, and there could even still be impacts in some areas on Sunday as well. And of course, Black Friday being a big shopping day, well, it's going to be a big event for the shoppers as well in the Great Lakes region. Talking about the current weather, first off, looking at the west coast, and we can see here, not much going on, but you do see in the southeast corner of this imagery here that there is still some moisture coming on shore in central California. And you can also see that here in the national satellite picture, starting to go to sleep in the east, but sun's still up in the west coast, and there is that snowstorm that is ongoing in the Rockies. We can see here there is still some moisture coming into central California. Unfortunately, nothing for southern California right now. Nothing major. Just a few showers here around Santa Barbara. Are they even reaching the ground? They're probably not. And up here in the Colorado Rockies, up in Utah, Salt Lake City, yes, snow is being found there, and you're seeing a significant amount of snow. Taking a look at the Weather Service, let's refresh this, as there may be some new advisories and warnings that have come in, and we can see here that there are still winter storm warnings and advisories up for portions of the west, and there is the wind threat as well. Winds gusting as high as 65 miles per hour, where you do see these high wind warnings. Winter storm watches are up for portions of western New York State due to the potential for lake effect snow on Lake Ontario and Lake Erie. We don't see much of anything yet where the other lakes are, although northern Michigan we are seeing winter weather advisories. I suspect more watches, advisories, or warnings will be posted down the line as we get closer to the event. It is only Tuesday, and mind you, we will probably see some winter storm watches start to pop up soon for portions of Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. Maybe winter weather advisories will be what they go with for portions of Pennsylvania. That's for the Thanksgiving storm. More on that in just a moment. Taking a look at the Storm Prediction Center, we do have two marginal risk areas that have been added. One for tomorrow, which includes Jackson, Mississippi, Greenville, Birmingham, Alabama, and there are the threats there. Small threat of a tornado, wind, and maybe even some hail. And then day 3 being Thanksgiving, a larger marginal risk area goes from New Orleans, Louisiana, through Atlanta, Georgia, Chattanooga, Tennessee, just to the southeast of you, Charlotte, Raleigh, Wilmington, Columbia, Charleston, Savannah, Tallahassee, Jacksonville. You're right on the line with this. Wouldn't be surprised if this gets up to maybe a slight risk. We'll have to see. This is part of the front that will be on the south side of the Thanksgiving storm system. Taking a look at the Weather Prediction Center, there is a marginal risk of excessive rainfall today across portions of central California. Not terribly concerned with that. Taking a look at precipitation, days 1 through 7, and something will stand out here. and that is look at the precipitation maximums around all of the Great Lakes. Yes, those are the areas that could be seeing the lake effect snowfalls. And you can see here, there's a lot of precipitation showing up, which signifies this could be a major snowfall event for some of these areas. You also still see a precipitation max area across the Rockies as well, across Colorado and portions of Utah. That's where heavy snow is currently ongoing. And you also see there is some heavier precipitation along the Louisiana and Texas coast, as there could be a disturbance there as we head into next week. All right, let's take a look at the computer models, shall we? And here's the latest NAM run. Here's that front that cleared through the east this morning. Still some snow showers in the northeast. And here's the heavier snow that's ongoing in the Rockies. Will continue into tomorrow morning. Then that moisture will start to transfer east. That system will be in its infant stages tomorrow, developing into what will be the storm system for the Northeast, and it will get stronger as we head into tomorrow evening. But again, I stress the earlier European runs that we saw that were really strong, I still think they're overdone. It's backed off slightly, while other models have increased ever slightly. The compromise of the modeling is what we're seeing happen. And you can see here, there is snow generally in Pennsylvania, generally north of Interstate 78, north of the capital, Harrisburg, and into New York State. And eventually, it does snow into New England as well. But again, generally northwest of I-95 up in those areas. And you do see here, the NAM is showing some moderate rainfall, unfortunately, on Thanksgiving, right where the parades are, and it is showing some moderate snowfall in the portions of New England, and even a few heavier pockets do show up. Now, the NAM is not terribly impressed with the severe weather in the southeast. We'll have to take a look at some more high-res models for that, maybe as we head into tomorrow. And you can see here, this low does get going. So Maine, I wouldn't be surprised now if Maine is an area that sees a jackpot, maybe even New Hampshire, of 6+ inches of snowfall in some cases. And you will see that when I show you the snowfall amounts. You can see here, look at that. There are some 6+ inch areas, even Vermont and New York State showing up on this. We'll have to see if that actually happens, but there's something else I have to show you here. Take a look at this as we head into Friday evening. Look at these squalls, these streamers, these bands that set up over the Great Lakes. Yes, that's going to be the very heavy lake effect snowfall. Now, it's too early to say where the jackpots will set up. Will it be Buffalo? Will it be Watertown, New York? How about Cleveland, Ohio? Could you get... It's too soon to say that, but we'll fine-tune that as we get closer. Now, you also note here, there's some energy left behind back in the northern plains Saturday. Could be somewhat of a weak disturbance that comes through there. Maybe brings a dusting to an inch of snowfall in some locations. It'll be fairly cold, so the snow ratio will support you squeezing more snow out of that little bit of moisture that you have to work with. Everywhere else by the time we get to Saturday should be quiet at this time. Moving over now to the GFS model. And we're going to use the 12Z run. The 18Z run just started coming in. And you can see here on GFS, it finally did shift a little bit more north with that system for Thanksgiving. It's not very bullish on the precipitation. And sometimes the GFS can be a little underdone on precipitation with these types of events. But you do note one thing. Here Thanksgiving evening, it is showing thunderstorms in the southeast. So the GFS is at least picking up that, hey, there could be a thunderstorm threat in the southeast. As I advance the GFS, look at these winds that pick up as we head into Friday. It's these cold winds going over the warmer waters of the Great Lakes. That's what's going to generate clouds, moisture, precipitation, and these lake effect snow squalls and bands that will set up. And that is going to start on Friday, Saturday, and even on Sunday. And if you look real closely, hey, there's that system or disturbance I was talking about for Saturday. It could even make it down to St. Louis before, by the time it gets to the Appalachian Mountains, it will really start to weaken. And take a look at this. Even Sunday night, you're still seeing lake effect snow squalls over New York State, and that could continue into the first part of next week. You also see, as we get into Tuesday of next week, there's that disturbance that forms underneath an area of high pressure, a strong area of high pressure, in southern portions of Texas, and that could get stuck there for some time. Meanwhile, next week, the cold air is going to be on in the east. Wind chills in some places will be near 0 degrees, especially in the northern plains and maybe even northern New England. Yes, wind chills, peak wind chills are going to be really cold air temperatures, they're going to be highs below freezing. And in fact, some places will have highs in the 20s in New England. On the West Coast, as we head into next week, you're seeing a break from the rainfall, especially in the Northwest, and things are actually going to turn milder. And you'll see when I show you the Climate Prediction Center, things will be mild. Take a look at this. As we head into Wednesday of next week, and this has been showing up on several models now, there is potential for a clipper system to move into the Northeast. Now, this is not going to be a major snow event, but it could bring the first measurable snowfall to many areas, maybe even including Philadelphia, New York, Boston. It could happen, and behind that, there will be a reinforcement of the cold air. Look at this. Yes, another round of cold air sets up, and maybe more snow squalls. Now, at this point late next week, things are still quiet on the West Coast. That's why I'm not giving you much attention right now, is because I usually focus on where there is action happening. And if you're down in Florida, hey, it's going to be feeling below average temperatures for you as well. Plains, you'll be kind of right in the middle. The southern plains like Mid-South and Texas, you're going to be feeling closer to average. The cold air is going to be to your northeast, and it's not going to be as active as we head into next week. That system that I was talking about will eventually move out. All right, let's take a look at the GEFS, and we're going to take a look at the 2-meter temperature anomaly compared to normal. And you can see here, in the south, it'll be slightly above normal, even on Thanksgiving. But then after that, the cold air is on. Even the south is going to feel the cold air. The only place above average will be the Four Corners region. And as I advance this, that will eventually build in the west and make its way up even into the Pacific Northwest as well. But Tuesday of next week, everywhere east of the Rocky Mountains is below average temperatures, even Texas. But that does moderate for Texas as we head into mid to late next week. And eventually this does moderate in the east as well. Although, take a look. We're now into the Saturday of next weekend, and it's still cold in the east. And the warm is starting to build in the west. And eventually that will try to push east. But at that point, we're 300 hours out. So take that with a grain of salt. Taking a look at the Climate Prediction Center for today. Look at this. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. Well below average temperatures in the east. It is going to really feel like mid-winter. The coldest start to December that we have seen in some time. There's that near normal in Texas and above average temperatures on the west coast. Precipitation, unfortunately, it's not a major snowy setup. You're seeing here below average precipitation. That's not what you want to see. If you're rooting for a snowstorm or a big snowstorm within this pattern, unfortunately not going to happen. We'll have to watch if any clipper systems do come down. There's indications of at least one, maybe a couple little clipper systems that come down and maybe provide some snow showers. Those can always be interesting. And remember, with those, all it takes is just a coating on the road to cause some problems. So, yeah, that's something we'll have to keep an eye on. 8 to 14 days. Near normal stretches from eastern Texas, western Louisiana, straight on up into portions of Minnesota. But to the east of that, below average. To the west of that, above average. You know, the United States can be a seesaw from time to time, and that will be the case. And it is just going to continue to be below average temperatures in the east. Precipitation, yet again, not favorable if you want a snowstorm in the east. Slightly above average precipitation up in the northern plains. Maybe some snow chances for you. Well below average precipitation for California. Southern California, you really need the rain. The northern portion of the state had it. Southern California, you haven't had much of anything. This is not good news for you. And slightly above average precipitation in southern Texas. At some point, there could be another one of those Gulf disturbances that pop up, meander, produce some showers, and maybe even thunderstorms. Nothing severe, nothing terribly severe, but some showers and thunder showers. They could happen there. Tends to happen underneath these areas of high pressure at this time of year. Alrighty, folks, that does it for the Tuesday weather update. So, in a nutshell, we're still looking at that storm system that's going to head into the northeast. If you're north and west of I-95, that's where you have a better shot at seeing significant snowfalls, especially in the higher elevations along I-95. It's a rain event. Any travel issues tomorrow will probably not be all that high. It could be just things just in relation to the volume of people that will be on the roadways, at the airports. I mean, the roads are going to be packed tomorrow. The roadways are already packed today. And as we head into the weekend, the biggest threat for travel issues is going to be the Great Lakes due to that wind, cold, and the lake effect snows. On the West Coast, things should be fine. In the general South, just those thunderstorms on Thanksgiving, we'll have to keep our eyes out for. It could get upgraded to a slight risk area down there, so there could be a few severe thunderstorms for Thanksgiving Day. Alrighty, folks, that's it for today's update. If you enjoy it, give it a thumbs up. Want to see more content like this? Want to see my future updates? Maybe you're clicking on this a few days from now. Want to see what's updated? Well, I post videos every day, so go check out the new one that may already be out. If you're clicking onto this, say a few days later. Subscribe down below, thumbs up, notification bell. Share this video with anyone you know, and leave your comments down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all again tomorrow. Have a fantastic Tuesday evening.